DeBrusk enjoy after hours.
David, thank you very much. Just outside the Oiler Hall of Fame room, they're chanting MVP, and it's not for Louis or I. Look, for weeks, viewers of this program have been asking, when are you going to have Connor McDavid on After Hours? And our response has been that we can't have just anyone on this show. Let's see if Connor McDavid leads the Oilers to their first playoff spot in 11 years and is close to wrapping up the Art Ross Trophy, and then we'll think about it. So both parts of that equation have come true, and we have thought about it, and we're delighted to have Connor McDavid with us tonight. Actually, that whole intro is nonsense. We've been saving the best for last. This is our last Hockey Night in Canada broadcast from Edmonton. So welcome, Connor McDavid. And let's start with a significant and very impressive win tonight. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, this one here really had a playoff feel to it as soon as it started out. And for you personally, satisfaction level on this one, 3 points for you in a 3-2 overtime game. Let's just talk about this atmosphere.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The fans have been really behind us all season. It's a credit to them. They've stuck with us for 10 years now, and we're finally giving them something to cheer about.
So, Connor, you were 1-2 tonight, despite being closely watched by the Anaheim Ducks. You're heading into the playoffs, and I just wonder if the shadow treatment you got tonight from Kessler and Getzlaf could be possibly but a small taste of what you'll feel in the postseason. Have you considered that possibility?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. They're a team that plays that kind of system. They're always above me and not giving me too much time. So it's something you got to get used to. It's taken me a while to figure out how to play against the Ducks, but I've gotten lucky against the past two.
It seems to really ignite you, when guys kind of give it to you a little bit. You can just see that little look in your eye, like, okay, we're going to play this way tonight. You just ratchet it up a notch. And is that kind of part of what you talk about, getting used to playing through that stuff?
Yeah, I think so. If you embrace it, I think that's when you're going to be successful. If you're shying away from it, you're trying not to get hit, I think that's when you're going to find yourself sleeping through games. So you want to try and embrace it and go at them too. I think, especially those two guys, they're offensive guys as well, and they want to get their points as well, and so you got to be defensive as well. So it's a tough matchup, but you got to get used to it.
You and Patrick Maroon have been a red-hot combination this year, along with Leon Draisaitl, but there was a special moment when Maroon scored against San Jose the other night. This picture has made the rounds. Here's a tweet from X-JD McPlayoffs. What was said in this picture with Pat Maroon? We must know.
Well, he's normally a guy who loves to celebrate his goals. He's got some pretty good celebrations, but
he celebrates every one like it's the first one he's ever scored.
Yeah, as he should. Scoring in the NHL is fun. But for some reason now, when he didn't seem to get too excited. I guess I was a little bit more excited than him, and I wanted him to get on my level, so try to shake him up a little bit, but it was a good moment.
Perfect. You have led the Oilers out of the wilderness. The decade of darkness is over, and you are one red-hot commodity in the city of Edmonton. So hot that Edmonton rapper Cadence Weapon has dropped a track celebrating. I said dropped a track. Our generation would say recorded a song, but you would say dropped a track celebrating yours and the Oilers' success. Let's listen.
That's all right. That's the first time I heard it. A few of my buddies were texting me from back home saying give it a listen, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Nice little montage.
Yeah, it's nice.
Caden's Weapon's name is Rolly Pemberton. He is actually the grandson of Edmonton Eskimos legend Rolly Miles. Caden's Weapon, Rolly Pemberton, was Edmonton's poet laureate in 2009, 2010, I think. He's known nationwide for his creativity. That's a legitimate track, and he's hoping it can be an inspiration to the Oilers in the playoffs, maybe be your fight song. Then there's the occasional idiot broadcaster who couldn't sound worse when he starts dropping verses. Here were you and PK Subban being interviewed at All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. I'm with the big boss dog himself. He knew the job was dangerous when he took it. If you scared, go to church. What's the realest thing you ever heard?
Keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind. That's cool.
Did I sound hip or just pathetically sad, Connor?
Very, very happy.
You know, Connor, you had sort of a stunned look on your face there as PK and I were going at it as though you had no idea what was going on. What were you thinking?
Honestly,
There you are.
I had no idea what was going on. You told us that you had a surprise for us. I was definitely not expecting that, but thank God PK stepped in
He was
and
quick.
knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
'Cause, I sure didn't.
I had that ready for Snoop Dogg, who never showed up at the All-Star game, so I had to bust it on somebody. I got a tweet from somebody who said that was so uncool that it was almost cool. I guess that's the best I can hope for. Speed is the name of your game, Louis.
Yeah. You know, when did you realize that you were faster than everybody on the ice? I mean, it's incredible to me. I know you work on it a lot, but when did you know this was going to be a weapon that you were going to be able to utilize?
I knew it from a very young age. I was always fast. I was pretty a year up, and could skate some guys. I'm not really sure where it comes from. I guess my dad's a pretty good skater. I still play with him sometimes, and he still gets around even at his older age. So. I guess it comes from him. I don't know what it is.
Here's a tweet from Bragg Milk. He says, where are you hiding your turbo button? We all know it's there. You don't have to answer that. I'm only including it because when I asked for tweets, because you were coming on the program tonight, questions for you, probably got 30 about your speed, so that was representative of them. But when Louis' right, when fans are and experts are asked about your game, invariably the first thing that comes up is your speed. And as you said, you knew it from an early age. We have some video here of you as an 8-year-old blowing by the opposition. This was only about 11 years ago, and back then people might have said, well, no, that's a bunch of kids. He's never going to be able to do that in junior or the pros, but you have. So how much of your speed do you think is a gift, and how much comes from diligent training?
I think a lot of it is a gift. I'm not too sure where it comes from. I train hard, I work hard. Guys always joke that I'm not the most athletic guy. They always call me a one-sport athlete. So I think I was just born to be a hockey player. I was born to be on the ice, and I think my skating is proof of that.
But with that speed comes bravery too. And what I mean by that is when you get going full speed and you decide you're going to challenge for that net, it takes some courage to do that.
Yeah, I think so. It takes a lot of courage to be able to skate through there. Sometimes it gets a little bit nervous, but it's something you got to do, and that's when you're going to get your chance.
Big noise here because Wayne Gretzky just came in the room. The fans are reacting, and he just gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Connor, 2012, you were granted exceptional status, so you could play for the Erie Otters of the OHL as a 15-year-old. Comparisons to Sidney Crosby then were all over the place, so a local news crew from Pittsburgh made the trip 2 hours north to Erie to do a feature on you, and here is what you said then about Sidney Crosby.
The way he handles himself in the media and the way he performs on the ice is just the way I want to be, and he's a perfect role model for him.
We all had kind of role models and all looked up to people growing up, so if I can be that for him, then yeah, it's a huge compliment.
So he's an opponent now, but does he remain a role model?
I think so, yeah. He was someone that I grew up watching ever since I was a kid. I think he's still someone that I admire. He's been unbelievably successful in the NHL. If I can do half the things he's done, then that's a great career. So he's still someone that I look up to, even though that competing against him a little bit more.
Quote from Wayne Gretzky, with whom you've had the benefit of a lot of time this year. He says, if Connor wants to be the NHL's best player, he understands Crosby is the guy he's chasing. How's the chase going?
I don't think about it like that. I'm just trying to do all that I can do. There's a lot of other people that do the talking and the judging and all that, so let them worry about that. I'm just trying to do everything that I can do to help my team and
standing room only crowd here for after hours tonight. As you can see, and they're all here cheering on the player they think should win the Hart Trophy. The vote's unanimous outside, I can tell you that. Here's a tweet from Dan Ransom. What was it like to finally meet, and they're banging on the windows now, what was it like to finally meet Sidney Crosby, and did he have any encouraging words for you when you first met him? I think that meeting took place when you were, 14 or so?
Yeah, I met him when I was actually 15 in Pittsburgh.
Right.
We drove down for a game and then got in the room.
We have a picture of that, actually.
Yeah. It was pretty casual. I think nothing really was said too extreme, but it was definitely cool to be able to meet my childhood hero.
First time you went head-to-head with Sidney Crosby in the NHL is a game in Pittsburgh in November. You line up for the opening face-off against him, so it's 97 versus 87. What were you thinking, and what happened?
He snapped it back. He snapped it back to Erie, I thought. So I doesn't even look like I got my stick down there, but that was pretty cool, and definitely a learning lesson. He's pretty good on face-offs.
Set the tone.
Back to Wayne Gretzky for a moment. What a wonderful thing it must be to have the benefit of his advice. As I said a moment ago, you've had it all season long. What's the best advice he's given you?
Shoot at empty nets. There was one time earlier in the season where I kind of passed up an empty net opportunity, and he was giving me a hard time about that. So he reminded me that you can score in empty nets too.
One other quote from the great one: eventually McDavid will get bored with passing and want to score goals and be selfish in a good way. Is that one of the reasons you're 29 now?
I'm trying to shoot a little bit more. I think I'm playing with two great players. Leon and Patty do a great job of finding me and getting me the puck, and I'm trying to shoot more for them. They do a great job of setting me up.
Find out more about you as a person now on this tweet from X Higgs Distortion. You did well in university prep English. Do you have a favorite work of literature, and what are you reading now?
Put me on the spot. I don't do a lot of reading now, to be honest. I read little biographies here and there, but I don't do too much reading now.
Louis.
You know what you said, you jokingly said that Crosby snapped that one back to Erie. Do you keep in touch with your former teammates there? And
in Erie? Yeah, of course. They're in a good spot right now.
Yeah, just like the series versus Sarnia.
Yeah, they did a great job of sweeping that first one. It's going to get a little bit tougher though. There's a lot of good teams in the Western Conference this year, and I definitely follow them and still keep in touch with some of them.
Tweet from Dave Kabat. What are your game day rituals? What did you do today to prepare for the Ducks?
I have too many. Patty and I always kind of go back and forth on who's superstitious and who's not. I think he's a little bit more superstitious than I am, but he seems to think otherwise. So I have too many rituals and little superstitions to share. I'll keep those to myself.
Well, you'll ruin them if you talk about them, I guess.
Exactly.
And some guys think that. I get it.
And some people.
that's a superstition in itself. They don't talk about it.
We've talked about the McDavid-Crosby comparisons already, but one of the many ways in which you guys are comparable is the incredible influence you have over kids. A meeting with Connor McDavid can really be a life-changing experience for a kid. So tell us about surprising kids in the Stand for Canada commercial that you shot recently.
Yeah, that took place in Edmonton. At the community rink here. It was a lot of fun. I love doing that kind of thing, and it's cool to see their reactions. I don't really think about it like that, but for some it's pretty exciting. I know if I was a young kid and had the opportunity to skate with some NHLers, I would have loved that too. So I try and do what I can, but yeah.
Well, the first NHL player you met, maybe had your picture taken with, was?
Probably Cujo, Curtis Joseph. For me that was really cool. He was a Toronto hero. I got the chance to play with his son on my novice team, and he was around a lot.
Oh, you probably hung out at his house then, did you?
Yeah, we hung out there. He had a rink at his house and skated on that a bunch, and that was a great experience.
On display in a lot of homes and around Edmonton are pictures of you with the person lucky enough to get one. Here's one that was taken recently here at Rogers Place. It's with Ryan Hawk, or Houch, I'm not sure, I think it's Hawk, who's a grade 9 special needs student at Haythorne Junior High in Sherwood Park. You're his idol. He wears your sweater every day, and that doesn't separate him from a lot of young kids. So what's your perspective on how much a picture like this would mean to Ryan?
It means so much. He told me he doesn't take that jersey off. It means so much, honestly. It was a great chance to meet him. Make his day. Take that picture. I hope he has it up on his wall, or he's remembering that. It means a lot to meet fans like that.
On the other hand, Connor, you could spend every waking moment away from the rink taking pictures with people if you were to answer all the requests. I remember years ago I asked Wayne Gretzky when he was at his peak here in Edmonton, if you're sitting home, you want to go shopping one day at the West Edmonton Mall, could you do it? And he said, no, not without Cousin or Ruckus. What's it like for you to go out into public now?
It's interesting. There's sometimes where you have your hat on and no one really recognizes you, but we're so lucky to play in Edmonton and have these great fans. You can see them out there. They love their Oilers, and we really appreciate that.
Headed into grade 10 you were when you started training under Gary Roberts. So here is a tweet from Ken Karuska. How much has summer training with the legendary Roberts helped your speed and strength?
So much. I started training with him when I was 15, going into my OHL draft year, and at that point I had really no idea what training was. And he's taught me so much, in the gym, but mostly off the ice. In terms of taking care of your body, eating right, vitamins, that kind of thing. And I think that's what's allowed me to, feel good in these later days in the year when some guys could be feeling a little bit tired.
Gary said when he broke into the NHL 30 years ago, a good day on a non-game day was practice in the morning, ping pong, followed by chicken wings and beer in the afternoon. Now one of his cardinal rules seems to be, if it tastes good, don't eat it. Between you and Darnell Nurse, your roommate, who does the cooking?
Darnell does. He's a good cook. We've tried to implement some of the things, but a cheat day is good every now and then. Gary always tells me that back when he was 18, he couldn't do a chin-up, and so for him to be where he's at and have all the guys that he does, it's really impressive.
Thanks for joining us, Connor. Greatly appreciate it. So Connor McDavid, a generational player who's great.